is Sidi Fofana. I'm the Director of Food Technology Services, Department of Agriculture. We organize this training on guidelines on formulating complementary food preparation from cereals and legumes. This training was organized by Food Technology Services, Department of Agriculture, to train extension workers as TOT, training of trainers on food formulation, basically on complementary food preparation, and also food processors. We have food processors in the regions. They are also going to be trained as a TOT, train of trainers. And this training also was funded by P2RS project, Building Resilience Against Food and Nutrition Insecurity in the Sahel, in collaboration with the Department of Agriculture. So today we have brought extension workers, 20 extension workers and 20 food processors. Those are going to be trained on complementary food preparation. So the training is divided into two groups, as I say, entrepreneurs or food processors and extension workers. But the outline of the training is a theory and practical. So for theory aspect, we normally train them on good manufacturing practices and good hygienic practices. So it's very important when you do food processing, you train your participant on good manufacturing practices and good hygienic practices, because these are very important in food processing. So that's why the theory part includes good hygienic practices and good manufacturing practices, and also principle of food processing and preservation. We deal that also. We train them on packaging and labeling also, which is very, very important. And also quality and safety, which is very important. That also was part of theory, quality management and food safety. You know, they were trained on that one also. And the training also capture business management. That's why we invite agribusiness to come and deliver a session on business management, and also post-harvest handling from horticulture also. We have a resource person from these service institutions. So basically, when you are preparing this complementary food, as I said, it's a cereal legume-based complementary food. You need to select quality raw material. If you are using cereal or you are using legumes, look at the quality of the raw material. And the reason why we are selecting cereals, because the objective of this training is to improve nutritional status, to improve food and nutrition security for infants and young children. So, and also we want to provide guidance on nutritional and technical aspect of complementary food preparation. So that's the objective of the training, just to upgrade the extension workers and also food processors to upgrade them and also to improve their skills, because they are going to be trained of trainers. So cereals, as you know, it provides energy, and energy is important for infants and young children, because as is part of the objective is to reduce protein energy malnutrition among infants and young children. So if you want to reduce that one, you have to use crops which are rich in energy. For example, cereals, millet, maize, you know, they are very rich in energy. That's why we call them energy foods. So also legumes can be beans, can be peanut or groundnut. So when you combine these crops together, then you'll be able to reduce protein energy malnutrition among infants and young children. And also, when you are selecting your raw material, you go to wherever, Sandika, or you get it from reliable supplier. Make sure that you have a very quality cereal, maybe maize or millet, should be fully dry. When you select your raw material, make sure that it is fully dry. because if it is not dry, the shelf life will be short. Then after selection your raw material, come and do sorting. Make sure you get rid of food hazards, because we talk about it, food safety. We say that the food safety, there's we categorize the food safety hazards into 3 groups. That you are physical, chemical, and biological hazards. After your sorting, what you do, then you winnow your cereals. You can winnow to get rid of foreign materials. Then after that, you take it to a milling machine to dehull it there. After dehulling, you mill it. After milling, you come and do secondary processing. But it should be dry milling, because we prefer dry milling. We recommend dry milling. Why we dry mill maize or millet? Because so that the shelf life can be extended. Because if you wet mill it, the shelf life will be very short. It cannot be kept for a longer period. It will be spoiled. So, and because why? The moisture content. We all know that these cereals, why they are contaminated by molds, because of the moisture content. So moisture content should not be more than 13 to 14%. So that's why you try to reduce moisture content as much as possible, or to acceptable level. Then come to legumes also, peanut or beans, the same thing. You do your selection, sorting, make sure you get rid of all foreign materials they are present. And also after cleaning, what you do, this you roast it. Roasting is important. Why? The same thing, you want to reduce the moisture content as much as possible. And also, roasting is important because what we are preparing is called pre-cooked food. It's a pre-cooked food, because when you roast it, the cooking time is very short. That's why we roast both the flour of millet or maize, and also the peanut also, because we roast them so that the cooking time is very short. So the same thing applied to peanut. You can see you have to sort your peanut, get rid of all materials, unwanted materials there before you take it to milling machine, and groundnut also before you roast it, get rid of all the foreign materials. Sorting is very, very important because it's part of good hygienic practices. Then after that, you roast it. When you roast it, you take it to the milling machine to pound it into powder. Beans also the same thing. After cleaning and sorting, then you take it to the milling machine to pound it. When you bring all these flours from the milling machine, you come and roast them. Not groundnut, because groundnut you have already roasted. But for cereals and beans, you have to roast them, you see, to reduce moisture content as much as possible. Then after that, when you do that, you start to sieve it. Sieving also is important, because so that you get pure, fine flour. Then you get rid of grits one. You put the grits one aside. Then you use the fine flour. Because fine flour that we use for infant foods, because their digestive system is not mature to that level as elderly people. That's why we recommend to use a fine flour. That don't use grits. That you have to sieve it thoroughly, then you get the fine flour. When you have your fine flour, then you start measuring, because as I said, we have a measuring cup. Ratio between cereals and legumes is there, because the reason why we are combining these two crops, peanuts or legumes in general, they provide protein because they are rich in protein. That's why we call them protein-rich foods. So you combine cereal with legumes, because legumes, they provide protein. They give your infant protein to build his or her body. So that's why we want to reduce protein, energy, malnutrition, combine these two crops, cereals and legumes. So when you have 2 cups of cereals, it can be maize, it can be millet, even rice flour. Then you need 1 cup flour of peanut or legumes. Okay? Then you mix them together. Then you pack them in your packaging material, as you can see. So it's important to understand the ratio. Cereal, 2 cups of cereal, you add 1 cup of peanut or legumes or beans, as I said. So now you have these two crops. You have cereal, you have legumes. One provide energy, which is cereal. The other one provide protein, which is legumes or peanut or groundnut. Okay? So that's why we recommend to use yellow maize because it's very rich in vitamin A. So these are dry products. When you pack them in a packaging material which can prevent moisture from entering to your product and also air so that the shelf life can be longer. Because if you don't use proper packaging material, the shelf life will be short because it will absorb moisture, and at the end the product will be cake because it has already absorbed the moisture, and also it will allow microorganisms to grow. So at the end it will be moldy. Always dry product, make sure that you pack them in an airtight container which doesn't allow air to enter or to absorb even moisture. Labeling also is very, very important because it tells you about the product, the name of the product, the producer or manufacturer, and also the ingredients, expiry date, manufacturing date, net weight. All this information, label tells you about it. So that's why and this baby food, we recommend to give an infant from 6 months above, because we recommend exclusive breastfeeding from 0 to 6. You don't give anything to your child except breast milk. Then after 6 months, you start giving him or her this type of food. Then it start from 6 months above. That's the recommended time for you to give this kind of food to your infants. These are newly developed recipes by Food Technology Services Department of Agriculture. So we want to disseminate this technology to our farmers, our food processors, extension workers, so that they also can do step-down training to extend this knowledge or to transfer this technology to farmers, so that farmers also can adopt. Because this technology, it will help lactating mothers and pregnant women. And also, even elderly people, they prefer this product because they say that it's very digestible. It's very easy to be digested, because here in the training, after we complete our training, we do cooking demonstration here, how to cook it, and we show them how to cook this complementary food, and people tested and it was acceptable. So these are the guidelines when you prepare cereal legume-based complementary food, as I said. So thank you.